I'm giving away this championship belt once we hit 100,000 subscribers, so go ahead and click subscribe today. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Yango Show. We got a big one in today's video. I want to kick things off with Adam Copeland. Some very interesting stuff coming back from this new podcast that he did on the Battleground, right? And listen, Adam Copeland, longtime WWE star, obviously over 20 plus years in the business. Now he's in AEW. That means a little bit of freedom. While AEW has a relationship with New Japan, Copeland was asked if he would like to step in the ring with anybody outside of AEW. He goes on to say that's pretty exciting. And, basically he brings up the Tokyo Dome and then he brings up Arena Mexico. He says that's on the checklist. And, man, this guy really wants to do it. And he says he loves the culture of Lucha Libre. He loves the pageantry. He's a big fan of the Tokyo Dome. He's a big fan of New Japan. And in fact, years ago, one of the things that got him back into watching pro wrestling was Kenny Omega in New Japan Pro Wrestling. So basically, long story short, Adam Copeland is very open to doing these things. It's on his checklist. It's something that he would like to do. Those are two experiences he would like to experience. And quite honestly, it would be kind of cool, right? Like, I know Edge is not this 25-year-old wrestler who's like, up and coming, fresh new talent or whatever it may be. And obviously people are going to talk about his in-ring work. People are going to talk about his character and whether or not he belongs. I think he belongs. I think Adam Copeland hasn't lost a step despite being a little bit older. I don't think age impacts a lot of people when they take care of themselves. It would be very cool to watch Adam Copeland in the G1 Climax. It would be very cool to watch Adam Copeland headline the Tokyo Dome. It would be very cool to see Edge, Adam Copeland, go to Mexico and do something there as well. The reality is, when you're with WWE, these are things that are not possible. So it's very, very clear to me that when I see somebody leave WWE, one of the big reasons why they would choose AEW is the fact that they could do something like this when they are gone from the company. So yeah, I support it. I think it's cool. I'm a big fan of Adam Copeland. I've said this so many times on my channel. Longtime fan. He's the first ever wrestler that I ever met when I was a kid. If it means he goes to New Japan and has a badass match, I'm excited about that. I don't know, maybe Forbidden Door next year, there's some potential with Adam Copeland. Maybe you do something with Okada. That's the card where you start doing dream matches and these big matchups. I think that could be a possibility. Last topic regarding AEW, I want to talk to you guys about a change that AEW has made, more so specifically for Collision. And basically what you guys need to know is that when it comes to AEW Collision, Tony Schiavone will be now the lead play-by-play announcer, joining Kevin Kelly and Nigel McGuinness. On the latest What Happened When podcast on adfreeshows.com, Schiavone talked about how he got the spot. Long story short, he told Tony Khan that he wanted to do play-by-play. He told Tony Khan that he wanted to do it. He would be willing to do it for Rampage. Tony Khan told him, hey, let me think about it. And next thing you know, Tony Schiavone was notified that he would be doing Collision instead, which is something that he was actually very excited about and very happy about. I'm one of those guys. I think Tony Schiavone is, man, he's one of the best commentators out there. I like the idea of him being full-time on Collision as the lead play-by-play. I think there is something very nice within the mixture of having Nigel, Kevin Kelly, and Tony Schiavone, all three different distinctive voices and tonality. I think it's a smart decision. It also helps the fact that Collision is like, I know it's supposed to be a lot bigger than what it is. Obviously, CM Punk leaving hurt Collision a little bit, but I feel like it kind of helps Collision in the sense that his voice is a familiar voice. So when you're looking at TNT, if you're somebody who may be a casual viewer scrolling through channels and you hear Tony Schiavone's voice, I feel like there is something that might make you say, hey, let me watch this for a second. Oh, I remember him from WCW. I always thought it would be cool to see him go to WWE. I've always been under that impression that he would be a good fit especially in modern day WWE. But he's happy with AEW, and it seems like he has a good relationship with Tony Khan. And the good thing is, in a situation like this, it sounds like Tony Khan also respects and values Shivani, because he could have just put him on Rampage and said, screw it. But the reality is that's not what happened. So that's a good thing when you're looking at Tony Khan and what he's doing with his roster. He might not have the best booking, in my opinion. He might not make the greatest business decisions, in my opinion. But it looks like he maintains a really good relationship and has a lot of respect for the people that are there. And I think that is a very, very good trait to have. And therefore, Shivani doing Collision instead of Rampage, to me, it's like a no-brainer. Rampage, unfortunately, just doesn't have any value in my mind. Collision, on the other hand, still retains a little bit of value. Despite the fact that Punk is gone, I think there is still a little bit of intrigue in Collision, and then obviously Dynamite. So Shivani's doing play-by-play for Collision moving forward. It's a change that I definitely like. And our final story of the day, this WWE superstar is officially done in the ring. Natalya confirmed this in a recent episode with Chris Van Vliet, and she basically made it pretty clear. He can't do anything that would be required for him to take a bump. He could show little things here and there, and obviously he can help train others, but he just simply can't take a bump. And you got to remember, with Tyson Kidd and his injury, he broke his neck, and it was at the base of his brain. So, like, where the brain and the spinal cord meet, it's a very, 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 very shitty situation. Like, this is one of those injuries, and you see it from time to time. Some people are able to bounce back, but do you risk it? And I think Tyson Kidd was incredible, man. Like, I think he is a wealth of knowledge. I'm glad to see that WWE still has a role for him. I'm glad to see that he's still producing and being an agent for WWE. He's valuable. And it's cool that, Natalya and Tyson Kidd have this relationship where they love wrestling so much that they're willing to show other people how to do it. Because despite not being able to take a bump, if I were somebody who wanted to learn how to wrestle, that's the kind of people I would want to go to. I would want to learn from them. So it sucks. He's done with WWE in sense of wrestling. You never know. Things could always change, but it just sounds like it'll never happen again. He can't take a bump. Natalya is pretty much shutting the door on it. He's not going to be returning to wrestling. But the reason why I bring this up, and I just really want to throw this out there, look at what Tyson Kidd and Cesaro did as a tag team. At that time, that was some very cool stuff. Now imagine if AEW was around then. Claudio and Tyson Kidd together would be incredible as a tag team in AEW. So I just wanted to throw that out there because it's something I definitely would have loved to see. But unfortunately, it can't happen. But thankfully, he's still able to contribute in other ways. And it's nice to see that. Don't forget, I'm giving away this championship belt at 100K. Make sure you click subscribe today.